Is this thing on? Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Hi, this is the last will and testimony of Goblins, Goblins, Goblins. Also known as Goblins, Goblins, Goblins.
Goblins, 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 goblins.
Goblins. And if you're watching this, I'm probably dead, having been killed by one of my thousands of lovers / enemies. Finally, chin chin. A brief moment's silence for me. Though I leave behind a vast hoard of rubies and gems, I leave to you, the viewer, the most important gift of all, the gift of knowledge. There's nothing more delicious than knowledge. It is October, spooky season if you will, the season of the witch. This is how to survive a horror film. Survive the night. Survive the night. Alas, poor Yorick, I hear you say. How do we do that? Well, rule 1. Weapons. Movies have taught us that the humble kitchen knife is the most dangerous weapon on earth. Especially if the film is set in North America, where there are 3 guns per person. So, if you arm yourself with 2 kitchen knives, you are double safe.
Wow! Oh!
When you're being chased, and you will be, there may not be lots of knives and guns as you're fleeing up the stairs instead of out the back door, which is wide open, so you may need to improvise. A high heel is just a knife with a fine arts degree. An old orange is hard like a rock and easy to throw. If you're 12 years old, a can of Lynx with a lighter for the win. Speaking of 12-year-olds, Home Alone is a great teacher. If you never clean your house, it's basically a death trap all year round. Also, don't be afraid to get creative. For example, the MacBook Air. Is it a laptop or is it just a large razor blade? At this stage, you've either escaped your killer to fight another day or you're dead. Congratulations, you're one step closer to making it all the way to the end. All that fighting is tiring, so remember to refresh. Survival skills. It is always good to be realistic, so if you are not attractive enough to be in a horror film, you're probably safe. If like me you are very attractive and thus in danger, I find it helps to disguise oneself. I like to disguise myself as a very rich woman who is also very attractive, so the killer thinks I may have private security. Never ever ever call the police a cab. The police are only interested in a serial killer after a pile of bodies, so you're only interesting to them as a dead person. And they may think you did it, which means you may end up in an asylum. In general, telling authority figures isn't a good idea. You may end up getting exorcised, which just makes the demons angry. Speaking of the paranormal, if you are a virgin and it is close to Halloween, stay the fuck inside. Do not light the black magic candle, do not pass go, and do not collect 200. We can't all be normal people. Some of us are ugly. Also, do not accidentally have sex with the devil. Your virgin blood is priceless sacrificial real estate and is worth many, many Bitcoin. I know he is very attractive, but do keep it in your pants. Another good rule of thumb is that if you cut yourself accidentally and any weird little ugly statues suck it up, run immediately. See a monkey's paw? Don't touch it. A chair that's suspiciously comfy? Get rid of it. It is good to know that objects from IKEA cannot be haunted. as flat pack furniture is too confusing for ghosts and humans. Random doll turns up at your house out of nowhere. Who's it from?
Satan.
In Men, Women and Chainsaws, Gender in the Modern Horror Film by Carol J. Clover, she says that
Women are seen as portals to the supernatural.
so be on the lookout for women with psychic powers and men with knives. Children are 50-50 as they are either ghosts, possessed by ghosts, or just generally annoying.
Invest in some good running shoes.
Take your vitamins, stretch, and most importantly, be realistic about your goals. We all know the usual rules.
Number 1, you can never have sex. That's yes, okay? Number 2, you can never drink or do drugs. And number 3, never, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back.
But think about it. Do you really want to get to the end? Do you want to be the final girl? Do you want to be in a... If not, good for you. Go to all the parties you want. Talk to all the demons you want. Have sex with whoever you want.
I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in this little garage.
It's ironic that it is the nerdy child who wasn't allowed drink that is alive to sit the leaving cert in the morning. But just because you're not going to parties and you're at home defenseless in your pajamas doesn't mean the creepy man isn't outside in your bushes watching and doesn't stop Satan from slipping into your DMs. However, you can be so boring and undesirable that both your peers, spirits, and even the devil himself will simply ignore you. If you don't get ready, you don't have to stay ready. However, remember, your most important skill of all is always to
Run.
your second greatest skill is to hide, but like actually hide, not to stand behind a fucking tree and talk about all the characters who are clearly already fucking dead. If you are a woman with a sensible haircut such as myself, congratulations. There is a 70% chance that you will make it to the end. You are the final girl,
On Kellini, final Lacht.
as they say in the old tongue. Know your enemy. If you know what to look out for, you'll know who to bully, who to cyberbully, who to endorse on LinkedIn, and who to mute on Zoom. What are we looking for? Leading scientists suggest that if you have a ghost and you're being haunted, someone in the past did something very bold. If there's aliens, someone is going to do something bold in the future. If there's a monster, there's something wrong with society. And if you have a demon, there's something bold inside of you. Possession. Emily Rose, is that you? If you're a teenage girl, you're probably possessed. However, demons only want healthy, virginal hosts, so start smoking and swiping right immediately. And if you're about to sell your soul to Satan, maybe double check that genies don't exist. Could be a good idea. Ghosts. If the ghost is a murder victim, say you're sorry and give them back their things. If the ghost was a murderer, you need to call Jesus.
Ghouls.
Ghoul is anything that is undead and consumes flesh and blood to live. They come with very specific rules to kill them, so Google is your friend.
By removing the head or destroying the brain.
However, if you can't beat them, join them. Have sex with the vampire and have a big Mormon wedding. Be a zombie and hang out at Tesco's forever. This also applies to cute little villages where everyone has fun accents and they sacrifice Nicolas Cage to nature.
Not the beast! Not the beast! Ah!
Goblins never negotiate with terrorists.
Monsters.
Try not to get smushed and maybe not have sex with it. Just a suggestion. Spot the killer. Use your peepers. Is the killer A, the town hottie, / your BFF, / your boyfriend / GM?
People found it hard to believe that a babe like Jennifer would associate with a dork like me.
B, a ghost filled with bees? C. An angry mom.
It's called a makeover. You should try it. Look a little tired yourself there, Gail.
Or D. A mannequin possessed by a ghost. The answer is probably all of them. If the film is set in the 80s, there's a strong chance the killer might turn out to be trans. But it's a surprise, and it doesn't make sense, and is never explained.
I'm sorry it had to end this way, Terry.
I mean, we already have a boy, so another one simply would not do. Oh no, absolutely not.
You sit the fuck down!
Mr. Morrison.
J.K. Rowling, is that you? Maybe, just maybe, you're the killer. Good for you. Maybe the killer is a random man who killed his sister. Or maybe the killer is secretly your brother. Or maybe the killer is an evil witch who lives inside the TV. Or maybe he actually wasn't your brother at all. Let's just pretend it never happened. Final Collini. We're almost to the end. But one thing matters.
Where the hell are we?
Setting. Imagine, if you will, that your brain was like a little house. In the attic is your superego, the voice of reason. And the main floor is your ego. It's you, baby. And in the basement is your id.
The unconscious.
In the Bates house, Mother lives upstairs. When we get down to the basement, and
The unconscious is bigger than the ego and is always there. It's where the darkness that we repress and pretend doesn't exist lives, and thus is where the finale of the film occurs.
where the truth is revealed. I've actively been given out to for spoiling a movie that was made 60 years ago. Stay out of the fucking basement. However, outside of North America, people don't really have basements, so we'll flip the house instead. And the id instead is the attic.
Science.
Therefore, the attic is just as dangerous as the basement. Instead, just stay in the kitchen where you're safe with snacks and knives. Lots of beautiful knives. Or, when in doubt, jump it out. Specifically, jump out the window. A quick breakdown of places you should avoid if you want to live. Drains with clowns in them. Wells with children in them. Planets with eggs on them. Sleepy hollows with headless horsemen near them. Hills with eyes on them. Ballet schools for witches. Welcome to Twin Peaks. I like to hang out with my boy. Haunted houses on the hills. Haunted houses in the suburbs. Haunted apartments. Tree houses. Public bathrooms. Regular bathrooms. The shower. Black lagoons. Regular lagoons. A cube. A supermarket. The Zoom chat. Cars that drive themselves. And a regular tire. Don't go into the house full of night traps.
Nah, you wouldn't.
If you are only surrounded by sassy gay men and beautiful middle-aged women, you may, I'm sorry to tell you this, be in a Ryan Murphy show. American Horror Story, Workman's Edition. Some general tips, just the tip. A wise man once said, "Ibble obble, chocolate bobble, ibble obble out." And I live by that. Put your phone on silent during a serial killing spree. That's actually good advice. Also during a school shooting. Do not make a deal with Satan and be surprised by the outcome. You're not built different. You're just boring. You're not Jesus. Never read anything in Latin out loud because no one fucking cares or understands. You're not Jesus. The 6-second rule doesn't actually exist. Sometimes salmonella is the scariest thing of all. Ask your lover / husband / fiance about their weird family before you go on a trip with them / get married to them / have their demon baby. Congratulations, kid. You made it. You survived the night. You have a happy ending. You got the girl or guy. And you know what that means? Sequel, baby! Sequel! Sequel, sequel, sequel! Sometimes it's better to never try. Find goblins, goblins, goblins. And remember, the only thing to fear is fear itself. That and my wet ass